Hello. In the previous video, we discussed how the tool presents budgeting results, and we discussed the content, and we reviewed actually 5 tabs. 3 budget tabs. One was external, where the project external funding is presented, and then the tab resources, where both external funding are brought together around diseases and activities. So this last one we believe is helpful to visualize the transition from external to domestic or vice versa, and to show, if we compare the tables of different years, to see how well the country performs on the trajectory to domestic funding. Now, we saved 2 more tabs for the discussion, because the tools can also help users interested in understanding the integration. And if you remember how the tool handles integration, we define budget line items in planning tab and also projects in projects tab, and then when we indicate in integrated column the value, and we say yes, it is integrated. And if it's integrated in surveillance budget line item, we then select in this list the items who are coming either from so parent, let's say, budget line items, either from the budget or from the project, saying that, okay, well, it's not just integrated somewhere, but it's integrated into this specific budget line item. And therefore, it's very important to visualize what's going on. I mean, where we are with integration. So before we go there, if you noticed, just during the previous video preparation, we added some values into the catalog. So catalogs where the numbering was changed, which means that this item is now orphan, and we need to fix it. And I think if it's a CBS parent, so we can change it to here it is, WHO, and pertussis data. By the way, again, in the manual we insist that the users enter these numbers here when all the catalog entries are over, not to face situations like this. CBS patient examination, here it is. Okay, so I think we cleaned up. Because why we do need it? Because I will show you why it's important. Now, you see these 2 red tabs. It's called IntegrationINT, IntegrationEXT. So the difference is that in the IntegrationINT, we show integration into budget line items. So inputs which are financed from internal sources of funding. While in another tab, we see integration into projects which are funded from external sources of funding. So that's the difference, and a little bit content is a little bit different, but let's discuss the main principle. So I may make it a little bit bigger to see better what is the meaning of this. So first of all, what we see is that we see some numbering on the left, and we see there are some rows without numbering and rows with numbering with integer, so 1, 0, and then we see some numbering with our decimals, so 0.1, 0.2, and so on. What does it mean? The tool assigns integer numbers to the line items which are parent or can be parent. So, for instance, 20, 30, 10, they are line items who are not integrated. So these are inputs that are not integrated and therefore have their cost. So they're budgeted. And some of them can host others or be parent to other child budget line items, but not is not necessary. So on the tool, you see that 2030 are just normal, but 80 is a little bit look different. It's bold and a bold font, and its color is dark red brown. So it's a little bit, by format, it's differs from 4, 5, or 2, 3. And most importantly, it is also separated. The tool separate these with line from the previous row, and it is followed by a little bit different way line items, and these line items are intended, so to the right, they are in italic, and the numbering is decimal. So what does it say? It says that measles case detection, active case finding, lab tests at the central lab is a parent to 4 budget line items integrated into this one, and integrated ones are counted as 1, 2, 3, 4 under the parent, which is 8. Therefore the numbering is 81, 82, 83, 84, and they don't definitely, logically, they don't have any cost because they are not costed, because this 87 covers everything. Don't pay attention again to the absolute number. These are for illustrative purposes, and they are separated by the dotted line. So the structure here tries to show which are just line items, but not being parent to any other, which are parent line items, and which line items are integrated into it. Other way around, if for some reason this budget line item gets less money or is not funded anymore in next year or in the next production year, let's say, we can see the consequence of it, because we are questioning the existence of these 4 inputs. So either these 4 inputs being already integrated should be disintegrated, meaning that they have to be budgeted separately on its own, or they should be integrated, so we need to find another host, another parent line item, and move them there. Therefore, we believe that this table helps to visualize the state of integration into line items funded again by the budget. That's why this worksheet is called Integration Internal. Before we finish, you probably want to ask, what are these line items which have no numbering? They're in italic and greenish or green font. These are inputs or line items of the budget which are integrated into health system. That's why there is no parent line item, because it's not part of the budget. So actually this input is beyond the VPD budget. It's absorbed, it's taken care by the health system, and therefore they are still, we can visualize them, but that's the all information we can get in the summary table. So why they are needed, and sometimes many specialists say, why do we need shared by the health system inputs? The reason we need it, that if we want to ask ourselves, all right, there are some interesting reforms in primary healthcare organization, or in organization of laboratory services, or in reporting data management, and if we want to visualize what is the impact of these reforms, changes to the system, we need first to check all these activities, all these inputs, which are absorbed and taken care by this system. And then, knowing what happens to the system, we can better assess challenges or opportunities brought by these changes. So maybe not for financial reason, but for the reason of sustainability and development of the VPD surveillance system, especially moving to advanced standard, knowing which inputs are absorbed by the health system is also important, because it makes clear how well or how strongly system is covered and is resilient to any changes, intended or unintended, happening in the system. Let's go now to another tab, which is light a little bit, but the principle is the same. We have project line items, and you see 1, 2, 3. They are not parenting any line item for the budget, but the fourth one, it's also bold in red color, separated by line from the previous line item, and then it's followed by 4.1 line item from the project. So maybe it's, before we finish, it's just to see how these are connected. So let's talk. Okay, so 4.1 is meningococcus analysis and feedback. So let's go now to the planning and find this line item which is integrated into CBS and show how this how it works. So if we go to planning, it's here. We need to find which one it was. It was meningococcus analysis data processing. Okay, so let's find the budget line item, sorry, with meningococcus. Here it is. Okay, meningococcus. I think, no, this is another one. I think this one. Okay, and let's go to the right, and we can find that, you see, here it is. So we here indicated that this input is hosted by CRS Patient Examination UNICEF project. So by defining this, we see now it's the opposite way here. So we see that this becomes the parent. See, it's number 4 here, and it hosts integrated 4.1. We can integrate into this activity another input. So the list then should show 4.2 after 4.1. Let's do it. Let's go back to the planning and find an activity, another one, which, let's take this one and let's integrate it into CRS patient examination. It was WHO. Here it is. Okay, so if we go now to the integration, there was only one hosted by this, by one activity was integrated. We'll have to see 2. Sorry, so I put it in WHO. No, it should be in, just for the sake of purity, as we agreed, we have to indicate here not WHO but UNICEF, because it was a mistake. It was, see, we have similar one but it's a bit different donor. So let's go here 4.1 and there should be 4.2. You see, this is a dynamic output table. So when we decided that this activity hosts 2 inputs, and then we go to the output table, which is integration external, it shows 1 parent project line item hosting 2 budget line items from the planning tab. That's the way these output tables are constructed. It also specifies at which organization level is this input, because as you remember, unique records in the planning, they are not confined to input, but input at or by budget holder organization we are defining next to it. I hope this this video explains how to read these tables, which may look a little bit heavier than lighter budget tables where you have a lot of space because of this outline layout. But in terms of understanding integration, we believe that this is the best way the tool can share the state with integration, which activities, what resources are hosting other line items. Thank you for watching this video, and we will soon share the last video from this series, which will be about building scenarios. Goodbye.